Hi. So in my last video, I gave you a really broad overview of story structure and how you can integrate a character journey with that structure. It might have been too much for one video and for one quite quick video. So today I'm going to do a quick recap and give you some examples that might help to make things clearer. I'm also going to split this into two parts, so I will deal with the catalyst idea today, and I will do another video on the emotional journey that can overlay the structure. I'm sure everyone's heard of having a beginning, a middle, and an end for your story when you craft your story. You've probably also heard of the three-act structure, so working in threes seems pretty intuitive to most writers. In my previous video, I also talked about adding two catalyst points between Act 1 and Act 2 and between Act 2 and Act 3. And those are the really good ways to differentiate your acts and make it really clear. So really helpful to you to plan your book using those catalysts and actively thinking about them and coming up with catalysts that will help to give you those 5 points. Using those 5 points, you'll get a really good framework that you can then paint effectively your story on top of, and it will hold together really well and a lot better than if you are just nutting out your beginning or your ending and trying to hang something on fewer points. Let's go into some examples of that. So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 different examples from Harry Potter, Stranger Things, Mad Max Fury Road, and Nyad. So obviously there might be some spoilers in what I'm about to say about those examples. So if you haven't read Harry Potter, or if you haven't seen the movies or TV shows that I'm talking about, I will put the timings down in the description and you can skip ahead. Also, if there are any other example genres that you want me to cover, please just pop that in the comments and I will, if I've watched them, if I've read the books, I will try and make videos with examples that suit what you're writing as well. So let me know if there are any specific books, any specific movies or TV shows, or just broad genres. All right, so let's get into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and we're just talking about the 2 catalyst points in this video. So our first catalyst in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is when Hagrid tracks Harry down and tells him, "Harry, you're a wizard." There's no going back from that. It opens up the whole world of Hogwarts and magic to Harry, and of course he's not going to say no to that. So it propels him into Act 2, where he is then going to go to Hogwarts and this amazing new world that's completely different to the Dursleys' world. The second catalyst for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is when Harry is alone in the final room and about to face Voldemort. So it builds quite slowly in this one because there are setups with the Mirror of Erised scenes and Harry, Ron and Hermione going down to find the Philosopher's Stone and find out what's going on. But the actual point of the catalyst is when Harry is alone. His friends are no longer able to help him and he is about to face Voldemort. And then Act 3 is facing off against Voldemort. It overlaps a little bit in that particular book because that's how it's been crafted. So the next example is Stranger Things, and also just the first season, and Catalyst 1 is when Will disappears. That is what propels Mike and the other characters to try and find out what's happened to him. They discover the monsters and the Upside Down and all that sort of thing. And then Catalyst 2 is when Will is able to communicate with his family and they realize he is still alive and they now need to go and save him. There are obviously multiple characters in Stranger Things, and therefore there are multiple catalysts for each character who affects all the plot threads in that series. So in the example, I'm just talking about the plot thread of Will's disappearance. Onto Fury Road, and just having a look at Furiosa's arc in particular, because there are 2 protagonists. So the first catalyst is when Furiosa veers off the road and solidifies her decision to help save the brides. And as soon as she takes that turning, there is no going back, because now she is no longer trusted and there's no way back. So she is now into Act 2. Catalyst 2 is when Max convinces Furiosa to turn back and try and take the Citadel. So everything up until that point had been get away as fast and as far as possible. And then the second catalyst is, no, we should actually turn back and go and fight. And then the last example I wanted to do today is Nyad, which is a little different because it is based on a true story. So it's had to be worked around someone's real life and real events. And we do know that some creative license was involved in making things fit nicely into a story structure. So Catalyst 1 for Nyad is when she read the poem that inspired her and decided that even though she was 60, even though she'd thought that her dream or her idea was over, she was still going to go for it. And then Catalyst 2 is when Diana Nyad actually realizes that she can't do it alone. It's not a solo pursuit. It is teamwork, a team exercise, and she needs a particular team. So she humbles herself. She goes back to the people who are going to be so vitally important to her success. And she changes from being a bit self-centered to embracing the concept of teamwork and actually saying something about it at the end, saying that how it wouldn't be possible without her amazing team. So the second catalyst in Nyad, when she manages to get her super team back on board, that is when she can then make that final push and actually succeed. So I hope those examples were helpful. As I said, let me know in the comments if there are specific books, movies, TV shows that would be really helpful for you. If I've watched them, or if I can watch them or read them, then I will try and make a video with some examples that are really relevant and useful. And in the next video, I will show you some examples of how the character's emotional journey can be overlaid over the plot structure and used to tweak the plot as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.